Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Y'all, today on this video, we're gonna be talking about the top 10 things you need to be doing in the month of October if you have a garden. Whether or not you're wrapping up your summer garden, whether or not you're selling into the fall gardening season, if you are gardening and you gardened this past summer, you wanna watch this video because your work is not done yet. You still got some things you need to do for October. So I'm outside today. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. Yesterday was like monsoon, rainy, dreary weather. Today has been kind of like overcast. It's clear now, but with the rain came lower temperatures. So I think the high today was like 75, which has been amazing. But y'all been cooped up in the house all day working. And so this is my first time being able to come outside. And I was kind of going through my mental list of all the things that I need to get done this month. You guys know that if you were here in the last video, I talked about I was out of town for 2 weeks and I really like playing catch up. And then I go out of town again in 2 weeks for almost 2 weeks. So I got to make sure that I'm like staying organized and all of that stuff. So if you're brand new here, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in zone 7B. And my husband and I operate Living Foods Farm, which is the farm business side or the business side of our farm. You can go to our website, livingfoodsfarm.com. On there we sell salves and elderberry syrup kits, jalapeno salt. You can go out there and take a look at the website and see what all we sell. And then if you're local to us, we do sell produce locally to our neighboring communities. But on this video, as I was kind of going through my own list of what I need to be doing in the month of October, I kind of do that at the top of each month. And I'm a little behind because I was out of town last week. I thought it would be good for me to come on and share my same list with you. So I'm not just making up a list for you. This is actually the list for me, and I'm just going to share it with you in hopes that it gets you inspired and kind of get you a plan about what to be focused on. I know that sometimes in life things are very, very busy, but also with the gardening season, we have been literally running or with our skates on all summer long. And now it's like, okay, let me take a rest break. And then you may be thinking, okay, well, what is it that I need to do? Especially if you're not going to be going into the fall gardening season, you decide to take a break. That is okay. But let me just tell you something. If you have never, ever gardened in the fall, you are missing out. Because, I mean, you can't see it, but like the wind, the breeze, the clarity, it's so clear out here. And I don't have to battle with pests. I don't have to battle with 95-degree temperatures and 90% humidity. Like, it is one of the best times to garden because you can really just pick whatever time you want to come outside. And as long as it's not raining, the weather's going to be pleasant, right? It's just much more peaceful to garden in the fall. And so I highly recommend it. And you know what? You still got time. If you decide, I wasn't going to do anything, but now you trying to push me over the fence, you still got time. You can still do it. Whether it's just a couple of pots, maybe it's one raised bed, you can still do some things in October. So if that interests you and you're like, well, what can I do in October? Then put it down below and I'll do a video for you if I can. In the next few days, talking about what you can still do in the month of October. If y'all already got your plan and you like, look, I've made it my mind, Barbara, I'm not doing it, that's okay. Or if you're like, yep, I'm doing it and I got my plan, I'm good, no worries, okay? So before we jump into the video, I do want to give a special shout out. One of you viewers emailed me and told me how much you love my channel and how much you enjoy watching me, and that you said you and your husband watch my channel all the time. And you asked and told me all that, and I wanted to give you a special shout out. Now, I'm doing this because they emailed me and they said all these things and they asked me, okay? So don't be like, well, you ain't never shouted me out. Well, did you email me, right? Did you say nice things? Were you kind? I'm just joking, y'all. Y'all always nice to me. Y'all are always kind. People always, and again, I'm off on a tangent, but y'all, we just chilling today. We chilling. We got our list. I'm going to go over the list with you. We're going to have some fun. But look, check it out. Many people have asked me about doing content on YouTube, and they said, well, what do you do with all like of the haters or the people who are so nasty in your comments, or people who just do, you know, are just very, what do they call them? Trolls. And I've been on YouTube for 4 years, and I have been extremely blessed that I have had very little trolling and very little bad people. But I mean, there is a way to handle that. You just get blocked. That's it. It don't rile me up at all. If you on my channel and you acting up, you will no longer be able to act up anymore because you're going to get blocked. It's just that simple. So, but I will tell you, in 4 years, I probably have blocked no more than 5 people. And to me, that's pretty good odds, right? That's pretty good odds. So really, I mean, I have had an amazing journey on YouTube. You guys, I feel like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I really feel like this. I have the best community on YouTube. You guys are so helpful. You're so kind, not to just me, but to each other. You're always, what do you call it? Uplifting. You're always encouraging. Like, I love you guys. I absolutely do. So I don't have any issues. And the few issues I've had, you just get blocked. That's it. Now, you can disagree with me. I don't have any problems with that. But if you're going to be rude on my channel, or you're going to say something like derogatory or anything like that, or something out of the way, you just get blocked. You're going to get one time, and ain't nobody going to see it except the people who saw it before I saw it. Okay? That's all who going to see it. So don't even try it. Okay? Now, I'm off on a tangent. Now, let me shout out the people that I want to shout out. So I want to shout out, they're all the way in Maryland, Brian and Melody Sam. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. They are actually new subscribers. And so because they're new and they emailed me and said such wonderful things and asked me to shout them out, I absolutely told them that I would. And so I am a woman of my word. Brian and Melody Sam, thank you so much for being a part of this community. Thank you for watching my channel. And I really appreciate the time that you took to send me an email. I hope that you hear this. So just say hello down in the comments below and let me know that you got this very special message. And again, all of you guys, I thank you very much for rocking with me every single time. I appreciate it. Now, y'all, let's get into the list. Let's get into the list. Okay, so now y'all know I try to be as organized as possible. Now, I'm not like, what they call it, type A. I don't think I qualify or classify as type A, but I love some organization, and I love some order, and I love some structure, and I love boundaries. Okay, so on this channel, if you are brand new here, one of the things I talk about a lot is organization, efficiency, and intentionality. I talk about those 3 things all the time. Now, part of that is my natural makeup, my personality, but also, y'all, I'm running 2 businesses. I got my primary business, which is an HR consulting business, and then I also have the farm business. That's just 2 of the things going on. And that's not to say, oh, I got a lot and you don't. Y'all got a lot too. Okay. I'm just saying that I have to, in order for me to be efficient and get things done, I have to have them written down. I have to have a plan, and I have to have organization. Okay. So I have it written down because, number one, I'm certainly not going to remember these 10 things if it's not written on this paper. Okay. But I created me a file, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of do this mentally every month. So I thought, you know what? Let me just start documenting and capturing the tasks that I have in my head for each month. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll put something together and, I don't know, tell it to y'all if you want it. We'll see. Okay. So let's refocus. I feel like I'm just, just yapping a lot, but that's okay. That's what I do. That is what I do. And today, y'all, this weather is giving me so much life. Okay. So we're talking about today the 10 things you need to be doing in the month of October for your garden. So I want you to open up your notes on your iPhone, Android, whatever you got, write it down if you're a pen and paper type of person, but take notes so that you remember what these things are, and make sure that you go ahead and put it in your plan for October. Maybe you do it maybe you just garden just on the weekends. Maybe you got a free block of time on Friday, whatever it is. Let's get these things done in the month of October. Number 1, we're going to make sure that we're cleaning up the garden, right? Especially if you're not going to be gardening in the fall and winter. So whatever your gardening space is, whether it's raised beds, whether it's an outside garden in ground like mine, whether it is a high tunnel, whether it's pots, whether it's your GREENSTALK, remove all of the old plants. Don't leave that stuff in there. Now, let me give a caveat. You can leave roots and stuff in there to compost in place. That is perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is, don't just go in the house and be like, I'm done. Summer is over. I'll see y'all in April. And you just got all these plants full in your beds, just tired, old. Just don't do that, right? Do not do that. Get your stuff, you know, and get it cleaned up, get it weeded, get it nice and neat. And again, one of the things that we try to do, and especially in the in-ground garden, because this is the space that we're not using in the fall and winter. This space right here that I'm standing in is only in the summer. So you can see that we still have plenty of stuff out here. It's probably about 60% still full. And so over the next week or two, we will be taking out the old plants. For the things that are really, really big, like what I call my basil bushes that have turned into like a whole bush and a tree, we will try to cut those things at the base and remove the top part of the plant, and then let the stump or the root compost in place over the fall and winter. That is usually what we try to do instead of just pulling everything up. So that's completely fine. But if I were to leave this out here like all fall and winter, number one, it's an eyesore, okay? And it just looks unkept and all of that. Plus, I'm going to have my work cut out for me when it comes time for the spring, when it's time to get the garden back going again. And so we will take everything out, pretty much everything out, and we will leave roots in place. Now, what we want to do is try to cover it all. We have tried that every year, have not been successful, just because we run out of time. And then by the time we might have time, it is just too cold to come out here and try to do all that. Now, last year we did cover a piece of the garden with, it's not called tarp. Yes, it's called a silage tarp. We tried that, but we were not successful with having it secured. It kept blowing up with the wind, and we had it secured with like concrete blocks and things like that. So we may try that again. We do not have one that's for the whole length of the garden. This space right here is 4,000 square feet. So it's 40 by 100. So we were testing that out. We may test it out again because what happens is, because I have holes where all of my plants are, when we pull this stuff out of the ground, what happens is that as soon as the beginning of spring hits or before the frost comes, as you can already see, we have weeds already growing in all of these empty spaces, right? There's no way to prevent that unless I cover it, but this space is really, really big to cover. Now, some of you have suggested that maybe we put like wood chips on it. Y'all, that's a lot of wood chips. That's 4,000 square feet. And trying to put it in every single hole. Like this space that I'm in right here, like this is where my onions were 2 years ago. And then last year we had all the corn here. These holes are 6 inches apart. So there's like literally 4 holes in this, I would say 18-inch walkway across. And it goes all the way down 100 feet. I would have to either layer wood chips all the way down or put them in every individual hole. Y'all, I don't see that happening. But if I'm not thinking about that correctly, let me know. If you have some ideas, let me know. But the point is, on number one, is to get rid of, weed your areas, get rid of old plants. Definitely if you have plants that are diseased, if you had tomatoes that had blight, if you had aphid damage, if you had cutworm damage, if you have plants that still are diseased, go ahead and get those things up out of your garden. Do not compost the stuff that's diseased. Only compost the stuff that is good. So that is number one, to make sure that you get that done. Okay. So number two is this, and these are not in any order. These are just all the things that you need to get done. Number two is, this is your last opportunity, if you have not done it already, to order your garlic for the fall. Now, if you are a new gardener, you plant garlic in the fall. So usually in October or November, and you do not harvest it until like May, June, or July, depending on when you put it in the ground and what geographic area you're in. So garlic can take 7 months to grow. A lot of people want to do their garlic in the spring or in the summer. That is not the ideal time to do garlic. The ideal time to do garlic is now. I ordered my garlic, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and all of my garlic came in last week. So all of my garlic is here. I just have to get my beds ready and get it put out. The goal is to put it out in the next 2 weeks before I have to go out of town again. That is the goal. Last year I did it in October, and I really like doing it in October versus November because I can harvest it sooner. And I'm usually harvesting like the last week of May, first week of June. But if for some reason you missed all my announcements and all my reminders about ordering garlic, you still have an opportunity to order garlic. I saw that MI Gardener still has garlic. And also, I get my garlic from Mad River Garlic. They came out with an email 2 days ago that they still have garlic. So check those places. Also check Epic Gardening. Also check Keen Garlic, Keene. The only one that I have an affiliate with is Epic Gardening. The other ones I do not have an affiliate with, but just do whatever is best for you, whatever works for your price point or whatever variety. So those are a few places that may still have garlic, but I'm telling you, it goes fast. So at the sound of my voice, if you hear me today, if you have not ordered your garlic, this is your last final reminder. You need to be ordering that in October, okay? So number 3 is this. This is a great time to plant spring bulbs. So let's walk down here because I want to ask you guys something and get your thoughts on planting spring bulbs. And I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, and then I need you guys to help me out. Okay, so this is my elevated raised bed from Vego Garden. And so I'm standing over here because I wanted to show you this in terms of how I overwinter plants for the spring, and then this goes along with planting spring bulbs. So I've never planted spring bulbs. I want to, but I never have for a couple of reasons. One, just like, ooh, I don't know what to do. I'm intimidated by that. Yes, I still get intimidated after gardening for 5 years when it's something I haven't done before. And then also two is always, you know, do I have the space or where can I allocate space? Because one of the things when you're planting spring bulbs, you have to think about is, okay, where are you going to put it? When is it going to come up? And will you need that space before those spring bulbs are done? So for example, right here in the back of my bed, I have snapdragons that I started from seed. Now I overwinter them, so it's the same kind of concept of planting spring bulbs. These snapdragons are, you know, growing a little bit, just a little bit right now. They will grow a little bit more until the frost comes. Now these are frost tolerant, so they're fine. They're going to go dormant as soon as the frost hits and as soon as it gets cold. All over winter, they will be dormant, right? They may, so they're not going to grow much. But come spring, by March, they're going to start to grow. And by April, I will have beautiful snapdragons all along the backside of this bed. So that's the same concept of when you plant spring bulbs. You're going to put them in now, and they're going to be dormant, and then they're going to, you'll be able to see them in the spring. Now, I'm thinking about putting some spring bulbs in here. So right now what I have in this bed, I have snapdragons in the back. I have radishes along the side. And you guys helped me plant this a couple of weeks ago. So you can see that our radishes that we did have all germinated. We put seed in here and I've actually thinned them out some. And then we have a row of beets right in here. But we still have this area up here that is empty. I've thought about putting some spring bulbs here, but what I have to think about is, am I going to want to use this space before May? Now, I've never done spring bulbs, so the ones that I'm thinking about, and this is where I want you guys' help, giving me ideas on, 1, should I do spring bulbs? 2, what tips you have? Because I don't know because I have never done it before, but the ones that I want to try are ranunculus and anemones. There's an anemone that I saw, I think the variety is Galilee. It's like white with this pretty black center. It is so beautiful. If you don't know, I absolutely love flowers. Like, I love flowers. And so I'm thinking about doing those, but I'm trying to think about where to put them. And again, with spring bulbs, I know some of them may need some cover. So do I want to do them outside or do I want to do them in my tunnel? I don't know. Give me some tips, suggestions. If you've done any of those varieties before, let me know. Other spring bulbs that you could do are daffodils and tulips. Those are 2 popular varieties or popular flowers that people will overwinter or do spring bulbs. So put it on your list to do spring bulbs if you want to, but let's look to the community. That means you. If you've done it before, give us some tips down below about what we should be thinking about, what to do, what not to do, okay? But definitely put that on your list about doing spring bulbs. I have already bought some spring bulbs. I think what I bought were some tulips. And that was before I saw the anemones and the ranunculus. They're still in the package. I haven't done it yet. Because I'm wondering, will I have to cover it if it gets too cold out here? Versus in my hot tunnel, it'll probably be okay. I don't know. But options are, ideally, the best options is this raised bed here or behind my house. really the space in my high tunnel is pretty much allocated for all of my fall and winter crops and veggies. So I don't know about doing it in there. But anyway, let's see. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see what you guys tell me in the comments. Okay. So that's number 3, is to plant your spring bulbs. Next, number 4 is this. You want to make sure that you're mulching your beds for the winter. So you want to mulch your beds for the winter, whether or not you're going to be continuing on with fall and winter gardening, or if you're taking a break until the spring. You want to make sure that your soil is covered. You do not want to leave soil naked. If you mulch your soil, it provides a barrier because remember, soil is a living, organism. There's a whole ecosystem going on down there. And so when you mulch your soil, it allows your soil to continue to do the things that it needs to do during the fall and winter at the right pace, right growth. I'm probably not explaining it the best, but definitely you want to keep your soil covered. You don't want to have naked soil. And then also when you have naked soil, you have the higher likelihood of having weeds. So I use a product called garden straw to mulch my beds, as well as I've used before pine shavings that you can get from like Tractor Supply. I've used those in the past as well to mulch my beds in the fall and the winter. One thing that mulching is going to do is going to provide warmth and heat for your plants. And so when it adds a layer of protection, but also I mulch in the summer. You should be mulching all throughout the year. You shouldn't just do it in the fall and winter, but especially in the fall and winter, if you're not going to be planting in your stuff, I highly recommend that you add a layer of mulch. Now, you don't have to use garden straw and buy that product. If you have leaf mulch, if you have shredded leaves on your property, or that you can that you've raked up and shredded, you can use those. You can use pine needles. You can use straw. If you're gonna buy it from somewhere, make sure that as much as possible that you can guarantee that it is weed free, so it doesn't come with a whole lot of weed seeds, because that's just another problem you're gonna have. But whatever best mulching tool or agent that you use, then go forth and do that. But put that on your list to make sure that you have mulched your stuff for the fall and winter upcoming. Now, even if you're going to be planting or have plants for the fall and winter, you still need to mulch, especially if you're not going to be planting intensively. Planting intensively means that you have a really full bed and you don't have a lot of space. So you're not necessarily taking into account and using the guidelines of, okay, this should be, 18 inches apart. You're planting very densely, very intensely, okay? But even then, you should mulch, okay? So that's number 4, is to mulch your beds for the winter. Number 5, this is if you have a fall garden and you're doing fall and winter garden. October is the time that you should be fertilizing your plants. Now, many of you live in different geographic regions. Now, for me, I live in Tennessee, and so our estimated first frost date is October the 19th. It doesn't get really, really cold here, sustained, I would say, until like maybe mid-November. When I say cold, I mean, under 40 degrees at night, sustained. And then by the end of December, January, it can be like, single digits. That's the kind of what I'm talking about. So when it comes to fertilizing your plants, what I try to do is once I put my fall crops in, I try to fertilize them every week until it gets too cold, right? And so I am trying to kind of give them a boost of nutrients that will last and sustain them throughout the fall and winter season. When it is like 30 degrees in the daytime and 15 degrees at night, I'm not coming out here to fertilize my plants, and you shouldn't either. Now, wherever you live, you may get colder sooner. So again, use the principle. The principle is fertilize while you can, while the temperatures are nice and pleasant. You don't want to fertilize your plants when it's like below 40 degrees outside, okay? But if you're not in a climate where that is the case yet, go ahead and start to fertilize your fall and winter crops and give them the nutrients that they need so that they can have something that withstands them, throughout. And when I say fertilize, I'm talking about when I'm on my backpack sprayer, when I'm spraying weekly. Now, when I put my crops in, I amended the bed. So I put in nutrients that are slow release. Remember, most things that are slow release are going to last you about 30 to 60 days max, okay? So that's only 2 months. So if you planted your stuff in September and you only amended the bed and you didn't fertilize them at all, your plants may not grow as well because they don't have enough nutrients, okay? So you can either use some type of liquid fertilizer with a backpack sprayer, or maybe you add worm castings, throughout, then that would be fine. Obviously, if it's, above 40 degrees, but I'm talking about actually spraying something liquid. You don't want to do that under 40 degrees, okay? Because again, that's not going to be very productive. Okay, so that's number 5, is fertilize your plants if you're having a fall and winter garden. Next, number 6 is this. I want you to have a plan for your plants that need extra coverage or protection during the winter. What do I mean by that? So let's say that you're not gardening in the fall and winter and you're going to take a break until the spring. You may still have some perennial plants in your garden. So let's say you have echinacea or coneflower. That's kind of like a perennial. Let's say you have a snapdragon, depending on what zone you're in, that may be a perennial. Sage, rosemary, things that are going to be there no matter what. Think about in your zone if it's a perennial and if it can withstand whatever temperatures are in your area. If it cannot, then have a plan in place to make sure that your stuff is protected if you need to. If you have young fruit trees like me, have a plan in place on how you're going to protect them if the temperatures go below a certain amount that they cannot tolerate. What I'm saying is think about that now so that you have a plan in place. If you are gardening in the fall and winter, same thing. Think about what area you're in geographically, what is the lowest temperature, and whatever you're planting, can it withstand that, okay? So for me, let's take, for example, everything that I have in my high tunnel can pretty much withstand the fall and winter temperatures. And when I say fall and winter temperatures, let's just say 20 degrees and below. Most things in my high tunnel can take 20 degrees and below, except for lettuce, right? Lettuce is usually only good to 20 degrees. That is it. After that, it's going to wilt and die unless you cover and protect it. And even then, if the temperatures are sustained under 20 degrees, you're going to have a problem with your lettuce. But things like my kale, my spinach, my Brussels sprouts, my collards, my cauliflower, my broccoli, my cabbage, all of those things are going to be good at 20 degrees, right? But when the temperatures start to go below 20 degrees in my area and we have single digits at night, I have to have a plan, even in my greenhouse, to cover my plants. So I use hoops and I use row cover to make sure that I have that extra frost protection. Also, if you guys were here a month or so ago when I started establishing our orchard, we have young fruit trees that are in the ground, right? And so I got to look up to see if I need to cover them. But I already have something in my Amazon cart for covers for my trees in case I need them, okay? But also I have fruit trees that are in my greenhouse that are not going to be put in the ground until the spring. And so I know that if the temperatures get too low, I'm going to need to cover them. So I'm already thinking about that. I've already identified the product, or I have the product on hand. All I'm saying is don't let it get to 5 degrees in your area. You're like, oh, I didn't think about that. What we're going to cover our stuff with, and then you lose it unintentionally because you didn't have a plan. That's all I'm saying. So think about that now. Whatever you have in your space, know your climate, and know what you would do if it gets below the temperature that it needs to be for that particular crop, fruit, vegetable, herb, whatever it is, okay? As you guys are having questions, please put them down below and I will make sure to pop in and answer your question. Okay, so let's talk about number 7. Number 7 is this, and I know you're not going to want to do it, but I'm telling you, you will feel so much better if you do. Get your pots and your trays from the summer and from the fall or whatever, the last time if you did not clean them, go ahead and get your stuff cleaned up for the spring, okay? So all of your pots, your trays, containers, your six cell tray, whatever you used, get it cleaned up. Do not leave it out there with all the mud on it, with all the soil, all the dirt and all that stuff. If nothing else, spray it down with a hose pipe and just get it cleaned and put away if you're not going to be using it. Now for me, I'll be starting seeds again, but I won't be needing 50 trays, right? I'll need a couple of trays to start seeds throughout the fall and winter as I'm doing succession planting. And so the majority of my stuff can be put up, put away, and be clean and ready to go when it's time to start seeds again in January and February. You will thank me later if you just go ahead and do it now, okay? So that is also along with number 7 is, if you're not going to be gardening in the fall and winter specifically, make sure that you get your pruners and anything like that can rust. Bring it on inside. Just have a place, maybe it's a container, a garden box that you can put all your tools in so they don't sit outside in the rain, the snow, the sleet, and all the bad weather and rust. And when it comes time for spring, you're like, oh, I got to get some WD-40 or it's no good and I got to buy more. Now, if you're going to be gardening in the fall and winter, if you're like me, you have several pairs of pruners, right? You have several pairs of gloves. You have several trowels. Maybe get out what you think you're going to need. So if you have 5, maybe you keep out 2 or 3 and you put the other ones away. Just so that you don't have stuff everywhere, like left in the garden. It gets blown away, especially if you're not going to be out there on a regular basis. Now, for me, I'll be gardening, again, just in my high tunnel mainly, and in the back of my house just to go grab stuff out of my green stalks. So for me, I still try to take my pruners, my good pruners that I use most of the time. I try to keep them either in my car or take them in the house during the winter so that they're just not out here sitting around, you know, getting, you know, rust and all that good stuff. So that's all number 7 is. Clean up your pots, clean up your trays, take your tools and your equipment inside. Maybe it's your wheelbarrows, whatever it may be. Turn your wheelbarrows over so it's not full of snow, it's not full of water. Like, do all the things, okay? That's what you should be focused on in October. Now, you may say, well, Barbara, I want to do it in November. Well, honey, you can. You can do it in November. But I know in some climates, it gets real cold. I saw one person that I follow on Instagram. They already had snow on the ground. I think she's in, don't get me lying, Wisconsin? When I say snow, it was frost. It wasn't like blankets of snow. But I'm like, how do you already have frost on the ground? Like, you could see it. Like, it was frost. And I'm like, really? It is like 75 degrees here. And I'm okay with it. I am loving it. So that's the reason why I'm putting it on October. Because for some of you, November, it's not going to be too late, but you ain't going to want to get out there because it's going to be too cold. Okay? So that was number 7. Okay. So now we're back for number 8. And y'all, I just looked at my list and I thought it was 10. But I actually duplicated it and put something twice, so it's going to be 9, okay? If I can come up with a bonus, I'll give you a bonus on number 10. But let's move on to number 8, which is you want to go and take advantage of any seed sale discounts, right? My Gardener has been having a 50% off sale for the last 30 days. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you some of my seed hauls that I've been getting from some of the seed sale discounts. So this is a good time to stock up on seeds. So all the 2024 seeds, in terms of when you're ordering from the big companies, they cannot sell them if they have a 2024 date, 2025. They cannot sell those seeds that have a 2025 date in 2026. So a lot of times they will discount them, okay, online and give a special price. And my Gardener is one of those that he always, I think he starts off at like 40% off, and then now they're 50% off. Even at the time of this video, they are 50% off. I went and checked it before I started filming. That means his prices are usually $2 a packet. That means it's $1 a packet. Also, I think Botanical Interest was having a sale. And then also look at your local nurseries, not like the Home Depots, but if you have like a local nursery to you that sells, a lot of them will sell Botanical Interest seeds. That's usually the brand that I see a lot. They will mark those things off 50% off at this time of the year because they know that they can't sell them in 2026. So this is a great time to stock up on seeds. Now, yes, you can still buy all the new shiny stuff that's going to come out in 2026, but there's some stuff that you already know that you want for 2026 that's on sale. Just go ahead and get it now, or a variety that you really like. Go ahead and stock up on it, right? Now, the reason why they can't sell them is because by law, the seeds have to be sold in the year that it was actually packaged, right? It doesn't mean that the seeds are bad. The seeds are not bad. They just can't sell them past that date. Like, so you can't go on My Gardener on January 1st, 2026 and order some seeds and the package is going to say 2025. You cannot do that. Okay. So go ahead and take advantage of those deals right now. And you want to see my upcoming video because I got some seed haul stuff to show you what your girl has bought. Okay. Do I need more seeds? That's not the right question, y'all. You never ask a gardener, do they need more seeds? That is not the right question. The question is, girl, what seeds did you get? That's the question you ask a gardener, just in case you didn't know. Okay, so number 9 is this, is put in your orders now for next year's seed catalogs. My Gardener already has his seed catalog on his site that you can download. He does not do a physical magazine or book like some of the other ones, but you can go ahead and download his 2026 seed catalog. But go ahead and get your orders in. Most companies will send you a free seed catalog. So I always get Johnny's, I get Botanical Interest, I usually get Seed Savers, I get Territorial Seed, and I get Baker's Creek. Now, Baker's Creek has a free one, but then they also have one that you can buy called the Whole Seed Catalog. That's like almost like a book. And everything's in color and all that stuff. So if you want to do the extra mile and pay for it, you absolutely can. So if you want to do the extra thing with Baker Creek, you can, but otherwise you can just get the free catalog. But go ahead, and all you have to do is go to their website, and they usually will have something on the front page that says sign up for our seed catalog. Some of them may have it out there, but usually I will do that in between October and November, and they will start coming in usually in December. Now I have a little tradition. We always go on vacation at some point at the end of the year, and that's usually when I'm flipping through my seed catalogs. I won't say by the fire because we go somewhere warm. I'll sit through my I will look through my seed catalogs and start dreaming and thinking about the spring and summer garden for 2026. That's usually what I do. But they usually start rolling into my house in the mail like November, late November, early December, and I just put them all in a stack. It's when I can concentrate and when I can focus and go through my seed catalogs. But go ahead and get your names on the list now and order your seed catalogs. So y'all, that is your list for October. That's 9 things. I told you 10 at the top of the video, but your girl had ordered seed catalogs twice on her list. Oh, I got another one. Look at that. Look at that. I got to be a one of my word. Let me give you number 10. It was just a download from the Holy Spirit. Number 10 is this. Make sure that you take inventory of what went well in 2025 and what you want to do different in 2026. Okay. And so whether you are planting and having a fall and winter garden, or whether you're not, you still need to take inventory. What went well, what seeds really did well, and you want to make sure that you have again. And also what things did not go well that you don't want to do again. That is definitely number 10. And the Holy Spirit just gave me another. Number 11 is this: save seeds. That's another thing you should be doing in the month of October, right? Now for me, I still have my outside garden. You guys saw me on one of the last videos. I harvested a lot of rattlesnake beans that I'm going to let dry in the house. And I'm going to use those as dried beans, as dried pinto beans, instead of me eating it as a green bean. And then I also have some okra behind me, or on the other side of the camera, that I'm letting go to seed that I will save seeds from. I also have green beans that I will be saving the seeds from. And then what else? Oh, flowers. See, I still have flowers out here, so I'll save the seeds from my marigolds and my zinnias and things like that. By letting them go to seed. So that's usually for me in October is when I'm doing that. So that's number 11, is to save your seeds. And again, I don't save a ton of seed, meaning I grow a lot of different varieties, and most of the varieties I grow are hybrid. So I don't save seeds from those. I only save them from the heirloom. But I only do the things to me that are easy: beans, flowers, green beans, okra, things like that. I've never saved tomato seeds ever. I have saved a lot of pepper seeds. Those are easy, but that's how, cantaloupe and watermelon, I save those seeds and all of that. But I don't save everything in my garden because I got a lot of seeds and I have very little time. But you do whatever works best for you. So that's number 11, is to save your seed. And because the Holy Spirit does exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think, I got 12, y'all. I got 12 that the Holy Spirit just downloaded. Number 12 is this: make sure that you make a plan for what you want to be different in your garden. And you may say, Barbara, that was number 10. No, number 10 was take inventory of what went well and what didn't go well. Number 12 is, I want you to think about, maybe you want to add more gardening space next year. Maybe you want to add another raised bed. Maybe you want to convert from wooden raised beds to one of these beautiful metal raised beds. This is the perfect time to plan for that. Like for me, y'all, these metal raised beds, again, you know that I am kind of adding me a whole raised bed row all the way down. And so I probably have space for like 2 to 3 more. And so I usually will buy 1 or 2 in the winter. One, because from a farming standpoint, my costs are down, because in the summer I buy a lot of things, because of course it's the pace of the summer garden. We always need soil, we always need flower, we always need stuff. And so we spend a lot of money in the summer gardening season, but not as much in the winter season. And so I start to plan and to play catch up and to play stock up, right? So I buy my soil test kits in the fall and winter. If I need a new raised bed, I buy that in the winter. So that way, when springtime comes, I already have it in place, because as soon as the spring hits, the money just starts flowing out, right? They're going to come out with a new tray color that I'm going to want, right? They're going to come out with a new product that I'm going to want. They're going to come out with a new GREENSTALK color that you going to want. You already know this. So in the fall, October, November, December, January, when you're not spending as much money on the garden because it's not summer, go ahead and be thinking about, I'm not saying that you have to spend money, but what I'm saying is think about, man, I want to make sure that I add that next year. I want to make sure that I add drip next year. Go ahead and start putting that in your budget, putting that in your plan, researching prices. Oh, I want to have me a metal raised bed. I want the elevated bed. I want to add that. Oh, I want to add a GREENSTALK. Whatever it is, make your plan for 2026. What is it that you want that you did not have in 2025? And y'all, because I'm nosy, put it down in the comments. I want to know what new things are you dreaming and hoping for 2026. I know for me, I want another elevated raised bed too. If I'm real blessed, I want 2 more of those. And what else do I want? I don't know. But I know it's gonna be something. I just can't come up with it right now. But that's the list, y'all. I told y'all 10, but I gave you 12. You got 2 bonuses. So that's your list. Now, some of it you may say, I have done already half of that. Great. Some of you like, she just gave me some work. I did. And I did. Because you're gonna thank me for it if you do these things on your list. Y'all, that's it. What am I about to do? I am about to, it's so much that needs to be done. I'm trying to think about how much time I have. Y'all don't know what I'm about to do, but I'm about to do something, okay? I'm about to do something in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to figure out what that task is in the next 30 minutes. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. This was more of a teaching type style, right? We didn't do a lot of stuff in the garden, but this is all gardening stuff. And this is what I want you to be focused on in the month of October. I hope that this was helpful for you. And if you're new here and you have not subscribed, or if you've been lurking, what you waiting on? It only gets better and better. Hit the subscribe button, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey, but let's do it together. I'll see you next time, friend.